We are going to chat today about energy drinks, Monster, whatever it is, but energy drinks as a whole. So it's been circulated a lot on social media that the army's banned energy drinks. They haven't. The facts surrounding it are one unit has turned around and the sergeant major said you are not to have energy drinks during the working day. What do we think as a first thought of that is, Dean? Is this a good shout? Is this a bad shout? Is it fair? Is it a blanket punishment?
It's hard to say. I'm not the person that's in that position, but like with anything, somebody's probably looked at something and maybe not considered the context and the nuance. Same as Monsters are branded typically bad by a lot of people that have maybe been in the military for a longer period of time. So Monster energy drinks typically get this bad branding against them, but we all know that the danger's naturally in the dosage.
And it's absolutely, that's a key bit there in the dosage, and specifically talking to the stimulant being caffeine. Mm-hmm. The upper limit is 400 milligrams a day. No ifs, no buts. Some people have a fast reaction and some people have a slow reaction to caffeine. That is separate to what the limit is. The limit is 400 milligrams. You see on all of our products, we remain within that limit. Don't have coffee, etc. with it. But would it be fair to say that a ban could have come during the working day because of the level or the stereotype? The stereotypes come from somewhere, right? Mm-hmm. But because of how people look as a whole and as a consensus, we associate Monster with a Monster, a Ginsters, smashing a D shape, and the overall like look of what an individual may be. Yeah. So do you think that could have been where it's come from?
I think stereotypes play their part. But again, you can't just generalize a stereotype based on the fact that they drink Monster. People that drink a Monster they're not always broken into that demographic of somebody who doesn't look after sleep, who doesn't train, who doesn't look after their food intake, who doesn't look after general lifestyle related markers like sleep quality, energy level, stress management. So it's not necessarily the you can't generalize an individual in a stereotype just based on the fact that they do consume a drink. I think the problem that you have is the drink is typically associated and aligned with people that, especially in the military context, and again, this is a generalization, but if you look at some of the habits that these individuals naturally participate in, it's normally masking something else. So an example of this, a really simple way of putting it, is you're putting masking tape on a gunshot wound is another way to look at it. Yeah. We've had this conversation before where you'll typically have somebody who might drink Monster and they're drinking it maybe for the wrong reasons. They're not using it as an ergogenic aid. They're not using it as a stimulant. Yeah. And it becomes something that people will drink just naturally, like it's a Pepsi Max at night or something. There's an example, right? So they end up drinking 3 or 4 cans a day, which you then go back into and go, again, the danger might be in the dosage. If they're doing that on a daily basis, what are they not looking after? Are they doing it because of the operational tempo and they think that they need more caffeine to keep them going? Are they doing it because of tiredness, energy, and feeling fatigue because they're not looking after sleep quality and they're going to bed at 1 or 2 o'clock in the morning after gaming all night or whatever they're doing? Or in the same breath, are they doing it because their recovery is a bit terrible, their recovery is a little bit shit? And again, it's masking things, and that's the typical generalization.
Do you think though, I mean, we're literally cans of shit there. For me, it is no other reason than I like the taste of it. I think it's nice. I have a can a day and a coffee. Or if I want to have 2, I don't have a coffee. Pre-workouts that I use, I don't use stimulants. So it's also being an adult. But then could we argue that you don't know what you don't know? Yeah. And okay, everyone should know that. Everyone knows to put their seatbelt on in a car. Everybody knows what the upper limit of caffeine is. I bet most people don't know what the upper limit of caffeine is, and they're like, it's just like I said, just like a Pepsi Max. Yeah. Why can't I smash loads of them?
I think the difficulty though is that people probably look at those as a brand, and and again, there are people in the military space that are associated with that being part of their brand. Yeah. So there's a big trend with doing it, but the problem that you've got is there's 150 milligrams of caffeine typically in one of those cans. Yeah. There's 70 grams of sugar in one of those cans. And if you're doing 3 or 4 of them a day, you're breaking that threshold, 450, 600 plus milligrams of caffeine on a daily basis. And then is there any wonder?
Coffee, exactly. And a pre-workout. And before you know it, someone's a gram of stimulants a day. They're not sleeping. That's then where it's coming there.
Yeah. It's so the second, third, fourth knock-on effect that people probably miss.
Absolutely. And I think as a whole, like, and again, I said it was a ban during the working day. I don't think it was. I think it was a ban within company offices. So if you want to have a can of shit at lunch, then have it. Mm-hmm. And I use the term loosely, a can of shit. It's that they taste good. They're for me, it's just a nice, tasty drink. you know.
I don't think anybody
And
likes the truth getting in the way of a good story, though, do they? So
no,
obviously
it's
grew arms and legs.
clickbait, isn't it? Which is
Yeah,
why
of
we've
course it
waited
is.
a week to get this out and get it done. But it's overall, you know. So could we then argue that moderation, do everything in moderation? If you like energy drinks, have an energy drink.
Yeah.
For the taste. If you're having it for the performance benefits or because you need to feel more awake and more alert, and it's an absolutely shameless plug, but we have products such as Clarity.
Mm-hmm.
Very, very good for keeping you dialed and focused. Optimizer is very good as well. Look after your sleep with zinc and magnesium, arguably ashwagandha as well if you have a stressful day. But one thing I think we should touch on is, like, you know, it's pop star wages in the military, right? I don't care what anyone says, especially if you're living in a block, you've got what? Less than 100 quid a month going out of your wages for your accommodation. Your food, we'll leave the food there, but food's not going to take up most of your wage.
Mm-hmm.
Energy drinks, they're £2.50 a can.
They're pricey. So we spoke about this before, and if you're doing 3 or 4 cans a day, on average, you're spending anywhere from 200 to 250 quid a month. You put that over the year, that's £2,500-3,000 per year. So it's, and again, it's like, for what it's worth, have the can, right? And I think you've said it before. The summary of it is that the danger's in the dosage. You should and can drink them. It's fine. It's not a problem to drink them. It's understanding that if you're trying to save a little bit of money, they are expensive. You could probably find cheaper things to consume. Again, if you are using them, try and use them around an area where you're able to probably facilitate the use of them and the caffeine intake and the ergogenic and stimulant aid. We have a simple thing that we try and apply to all the people we work with, a caffeine curfew, to try not to take too much caffeine on board after 2 or 3 p.m. because we know that coffee and caffeine, has a half-life and a quarter life in the system.
And even if you feel like you're absolutely fine, it still affects your quality 100%. Of sleep. And that's the key bit. You might get to sleep and think, oh, I'm fine. Yeah, whatever. Like I do. And I've had a can of energy drink late at night. I think, I sleep fine.
And how many people have we spoke to that said they've had a coffee at 9 o'clock? Because it doesn't affect me.
Yeah.
But it really does. It really does.
It might not affect you, what you know, but if you start monitoring your sleep, you'll realise that your quality of sleep is gone. Yeah. And another argument that we've seen a lot, especially trending on social media, just be a man and have a coffee. What is it? Not the same thing?
Yeah, I mean, well, it's preference, isn't it? I think it's preference.
Absolutely.
Like I prefer to have a black coffee. That's just something I like doing. I'll absolutely have a Monster every now and then because some of them actually taste quite nice. They're full of sugar. Why wouldn't they? Right?
Yeah, I mean, I like the sugar-free ones. Just saying.
Yeah, the white ones are good.
I think they're actually even sweeter. The ones that are sugar-free. The ones that got sugar in them, they're just like, no, not a fan.
But it's all preference, though, isn't it? Like I like coffee. I really, really love changing different coffee beans that we got. You know, we're associated with a coffee house where we're based. So yeah, I'm a coffee guy, but it doesn't mean that I won't go and smash a Monster. But I don't have 3 a day.
Coffee flavored Monster. I think we've just made a thing here.
Maybe that.
I think I'm a genius. Actually,
maybe that could be a new product. Yeah.
Definitely not autism. Definitely just a genius.
Coffee flavored Monster. I'm not sure that will go down well, but we could try.
So I sent him a message. I've got like 28k followers now. I'm basically famous. So
it's a hashtag influencer.
I ain't influencing anyone.
We'll do it.
But one bit that we didn't touch on, Dean, was again, social media. So a lot of the it's a diuretic. You know, it's going to dehydrate you as well. And it's like, well, actually, you're factually wrong.
Yeah.
Drink as many Monsters as you want outside of the caffeine issues. It will not dehydrate you. It will have a net hydrating effect because of the volume of liquid you're consuming. So like that's a ridiculous argument.
Yeah.
How do people even get onto that saying, can of Monster will dehydrate you?
I think the associated behaviour though, isn't it? Is that if they'll just have a can of Monster and then they won't drink any water. And that's the thing that you've got to have a distinction on. It's not that it's a diuretic because it won't dehydrate you. It will have a net positive on hydration levels. But however, if you're only taking on a Monster and you're not drinking any fluid,
then
it's pretty obvious what's going to happen from there, isn't it? So performance is going to be at a disadvantage. You're not going to be as alert. We already know caffeine has some huge positives, huge positives in terms of alertness, reactiveness.
And it's, not getting into the informed sport thing, but you can fail a drugs test as an elite level athlete or as any athlete if they're going to test for it from caffeine. I bet most people don't know that. I believe it's somewhere around 10 nanomole, I think. Don't quote me on that.
I'm not sure.
And you'll fail. So you're at Olympics, you've had too many caffeines, which I do think is the equivalent of something like 12 coffees. So it's a lot. But yeah, you'd straight up fail your drugs test. because of the effects on it. So,
You learn something new.
fun fact for the day.
There you go.
Don't quote me on the figure, but definitely is an upper limit of caffeine to fail.
Yeah.
And it is then classed as a performance enhancing drug. Because remember, caffeine is a drug. Dean, thank you, mate.
Mate,
Much
my
love.
pleasure.